Well, today it's the first Saturday of December, and we have a brand new fabulous folded card dies. It's called the Panoramic card, and it's going to stand up and do some wonderful things. So please come play with us. Okay, we're going to get started. I'm just going to once again kind of show you the end result. So you're going to make a card that has these windows going in, and you see how those are kind of wiggling? They're moving. So that's kind of fun, and you're going to get all 4 windows. Now, the dies that makes this are going to fit into a regular Big Shot or a Gemini Junior, so that's always good information. And if you are wondering about envelopes, well, we do have 10 envelopes. Now, these are designed to fit our 5 by 6.5 inch cards. They'll also fit 5 by 7 cards, and they'll also work with these panoramic cards, so that's nice to know. And the cutting dies, this is what you're going to get. Oh, by the way, on the back of the package, as always with Fabulous Folded, you're going to see step-by-step instructions. There's even some artwork just to give you a little extra confidence, so that's going to be fine. And let me show you what you do with the dies. Now, this piece is going to use 2 of these card bases. So these are going to have windows, as you can see. The smaller area goes at the top of the card, the bigger area goes at the bottom of the card, and you'll understand why in a minute. There's also 4 of these springs. Now you need 4 of those. So 2 of the card bases, 4 of these, and then there are 2 kind of a tag or label. You need 2 of each one. So that's what you'll need to make your card. And let me show you how this goes together. And I'll bring these in. So when you cut your card base, you're going to end up with windows being cut out. Now, we don't need those in this particular project, but I know you're going to find something clever to do with them. And with each of these, there's a score line. And notice how they've been designed so that this goes in. That's so that when this gets attached to the next piece, that it will not buckle. So it's going to work very nicely. In fact, let me just do this. Let's see, this is going to go. We're going to fold these back. Oh, I forgot to tell you, we need to put extra sticky tape on it, and that's because these are movable. So you really want an adhesive that's going to be super adhesive, super sticky. So you'll just attach them like so, that end and this end. Now probably you will have these 2 pieces the same color and the same pattern. And as you can see, the small one at the top, the bigger one at the bottom. So that's going to take care of that. Then there are folds here. So these will be folded out and will simply attach as I just showed you. So that's pretty easy, and they fold flat to go into the envelope. Now, the springs, let's talk about them. There are 4 of them, and they have 2 score lines on each end, and you're going to take the outer one and do that in a mountain fold, the inner one in a valley. So mountain and valley, same way on the other side. And what happens, you're going to put the extra sticky tape also on the outside of the tabs, and that's pretty consistent. Then these tags or labels that you have, now you can, of course, die cut these out of anything, but that's going to get glued right in the center, just like that. And then this is going to get attached to the card on the inside, and I'll show you that in just a moment. So this is the part that's going to move, and it's going to spring, just like I showed you here. So they get tucked inside, and that's why about an inch of the bottom is not going to show. So when you're using a pre-cut die cut, or you're using these, that bottom part is not going to show because it's going to get hidden behind the card front. Okay, so that's just a good piece to know, and also that is in the instructions. So that's going to get attached to the inside of this like so. Okay, like this. Stay. Okay, so it's going to be like that, and then when you see it from the inside, that kind of springs, hence the name. Okay, so that's the basic information. By the way, it's very helpful to have a bone folder or something to really press those score lines after you've made them. Now, let's get on to the fun. And here is Teresa's first card. And she has done this out of solid cardstock, as you can see. But what I love, and that's the panorama of it, you can see how these wiggle. But they're very sturdy. I mean, they're not going to go anywhere because they are being held in place by those springs. If you can see that there. Okay. And as I said, the tag is showing front, obviously. And you can mix them up with colors. Teresa used the solid blue. This, by the way, is out of the Blue Persuasion. As a matter of fact, last month, if you ordered the die, you got the solid cardstock as a free gift. So that's what she has used this time. And then for her decorations, in fact, on all of the cards I'm going to show you, as well as the one that Debbie made in the beginning, they are all using the 6x6 papers. Just that smaller size just seems to work nicely. So you can see that she just added some strips along the bottom all the way around, not in one strip, but in sections to cover each of these panels. And then she die cut several of these also out of the blue, and then used the die cuts to embellish them, so you can see how well that worked. Now, when you do a pre-made die cut, like this one, this is what she has used here, but it is wider than the spring. So what she did, let me just show you here, is normally you're putting your label right here, and it's going attached to the inside of the card. When it's wider than this area, you can just attach it to the back, and it's going to have the same effect. It's going to still spring and still move, but it just gives you another option for using other products, and that's always kind of nice to do. Now you'll notice that Teresa stapled a ribbon, and obviously this is out of the blue ribbon set, and that just adds another little bit of movement to her card, and it doesn't make any, it doesn't stop it from fitting into that envelope, so that's nice. So you can see how she's done some layering of the pieces one on top of the other. You can do that easily. She also added some sparkle, and she did that with a couple of things. One of them is with the silver border dazzles, as you can see at the top there and at the bottom, and again just did it in pieces to match all the way around. And then she also did the or used the Tiny Words and Phrases pastels and pearls. Now this is the there's all different colors in there, but you can see Simple Joys, Cherish, let's see, right here, Friend. So those are used nicely just to add a little bit more. And this is the silver pearl that's out of that set. Now she also, as I said, she used the die cuts, and that's where the thank you, you are the best, these pieces, all of those came from the die cuts. And so there's just a lot of decorating that you can do, and that makes it really nice. Now these will stand up, as you can see that movement. And the panorama is, again, that tunnel that you can see through the card and into the card. But I think the movement is just really fun and gives you lots of ideas. Now, the next card is this. And Teresa used another 6x6. This is the Teacups and Roses. She used the 6x6 pattern, and she also used the solid cardstock. Now, if you think about it, the 6x6 is not quite long enough to actually create these pieces to make your card base. This is a little bit longer. So what Teresa's done, let me tell you what she has done, is she took a piece of the cardstock and a piece of the 6x6 pattern and glued it together. Then when she die cut, she simply positioned the die so that the tab would be over the edge. I'll lay it like this, over onto the solid cardstock, and then this area would be the printed area. So that's how she got the gingham right here, and she got that pink pattern right there. So just by gluing those together, she didn't do it because she needed the extra strength. She just simply wanted to have a patterned cardstock on the outside, and the die is slightly longer than 6 inches, but it is narrow enough, as I said, that it will fit into a Gemini Junior or a Big Shot. So that's a good little technique to know. Again, we just want to make the dies as versatile as possible. Now, Teresa cut those tags out of the Teacups and Roses 6x6 paper. You can see right here. She used the cutouts that are in there, and that worked nicely. And you can see what's fun is that you get kind of a different look with every single window. So yellow, blue, with the gold and pink and blue together. Now for accents, she went into a set of engraved Dazzles, and this is called Borders and Corners Engraved Dazzles. And they come in gold and silver in the same package. And this is the one that Teresa used. And you can see the butterflies right there. And this is out of the, of course it was the silver one, but these are going to fit just perfectly right underneath the frames. Again, the wider one goes toward the bottom. Now the other thing that she did is she took our flowers Dazzles and used them. So there's just the little guys going in there, and it just adds a little bit of sparkle. And you can see them right there at the bottom of these. And these are the die cuts, the cutouts and die cuts, both just layered onto that artwork in the pattern cardstock. Really pretty. It's just nice to see lots of variety and to get those very important techniques. Now, Teresa always gives us a multiple of things, and I so appreciate that, but one of the things she always does is something else. Well, let me show you the something else. Now this is a 5x6.5 inch card, complete card, but when I open it, are you ready? Here we go. Wow, look at that. Look what she's done. You can see the panorama going on the inside, but how clever of her to use this. So what she did is to cut 2 of the bases, just like you normally would, and to attach them together. But one of them, she cut the tab off because you don't need it. You just need these to connect like so. And then these 2 are going to get folded back and get glued to the inside of the card. But notice what she did first. She took a piece, this is, oh, by the way, this is out of the Foggy Forest. You are telling us you love this collection of papers. So Teresa has used this. So she took a piece and glued one to the inside front of the card and to the back of the card. And then these became the backdrops to this panorama that's going on the inside. I think it is just doggone clever. So you can see that she's let that frame a couple of areas, so that's very fun. And she did cut the tags out of the same Foggy Forest 6x6 pattern cardstock. And she also used the 6x6 cutouts here and here, as well as the die cuts right here and right here. Now, going into the tags, and you can see there's some shimmer and shine going on. Well, she used the platinum Dazzles, and you can see they're platinum, but they've got a gold edge. Well, can you see at the top there and right there, that's where she's used them. Just makes a very nice finish. I do need to tell you that we have a very limited quantity of these, so if you're interested, you might want to grab that little sheet. So then she has also added the tiny words and phrases dazzles, which is what we had earlier, and so that's what she used on this set. And let me go to the front of the card. Oh, also another ribbon. This is out of the ivory ribbons, and so that did a nice job. Now let me close this. We're going to go into what else she did. This piece is yet another of the frames. So she die cut it, but then cut off one, and what a nice job it does to frame something. And what is she framing? Well, it is this beautiful deer out of the Foggy Forest chipboard, and she has put Versamark on top of it, and this is Iron Age embossing powder, and you can see what a great look it gives. So she simply spread that over it and then tapped off the extra, used the heat gun to melt it, and isn't that stunning inside that frame? So this becomes a happy birthday card, and I think the gray of the paper and the patterned cardstock right here just plays really nicely. Now she did matte this onto our silver metallic paper, so that's another step in there. So you can see it's happy birthday with the tiny words and phrases. On the inside, life is good, happy thoughts, blessings, make a wish. All of that is just doing such a fun job. I love that surprise when you open up a card. Now, Teresa had a couple of other ideas that she asked me to share with you, and one of them is this. So she didn't complete it, but her thought was you can cut out 3 of these. So there's 1, 2, 3. I better turn it this way, since I made such a deal about the big one going at the bottom. And this could become a table or a mantle decoration. So you can see how this could be used. It could become a kind of that elongated shape. You could put a battery-operated tea light into it. Of course, you can also decorate each of the panels with the labels and tags. She also thought that you could put vellum behind the windows, which would be really pretty, and that would make it quite lovely. And also you can use these for shaker cards. So you've got your opening all taken care of. Just put foam tape on the back of it and piece of acetate, and you can do shaker cards quite easily with these. So lots of ideas. So this becomes more than just the base of a card. It becomes frames, it becomes windows, shaker cards, and some beautiful panorama cards. So lots of ideas. Last thing I want to share with you is that this is the card that Teresa submitted when we were talking about what kinds of cards to do. Now this is using an Artful card kit that I am sorry is no longer available. But the reason I'm showing it to you, not to just torment you, but to show you that there's some large images that are really handled very nicely on the front of the frames as well as inside the frames. So, you know, you don't have to be hesitant about using things that are going to maybe cover up a little bit of that wonderful movable thing. So lots of fun things to do. And by the way, so with the Panorama card cutting die, you will get free a set of those envelopes, and that will give you envelopes to send 10 cards, so that's going to be free with the purchase. Just use the money saver. It's over there on the right side of your screen. Each of Teresa's projects will be down below, and we'll show you the instructions also over on the right hand side. So everything is right here. If you happen to be watching this on YouTube, please like it, share it, because that lets other people know that we're here. And please do join us over at paperwishes.com and take advantage of that money saver. Get the free envelopes, and that will work so nicely. Thank you for being part of us and joining us today. And as always, for being part of our Paper Wishes family. We'll see you next time.